It's opening weekend 2011 as the Reds continue this three-game set against the Milwaukee Brewers. They won on opening day, celebrated yesterday, back at it for the middle game today. The Reds and the Brewers on Fox Sports Ohio. And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Reds Baseball and our Champion Windows broadcast booth. I'm Jim Couch, along with Chris Welsh. Well, opening day was a great day, off day yesterday, and now tonight we celebrate opening night. And you've got a dress for opening night. We did, and you got a separate vest.
We've got a special occasion tonight. That's why we're all in tuxedos, wearing the red tie, the whole deal. And maybe the Reds will give a real formal awakening to the Milwaukee Brewers pitcher early in the game tonight instead of waiting till the ninth inning.
Well, I figured you wouldn't mind to wear a tux because if there's a bow tie involved, you love it.
Well, I'll wear a bow tie any time, especially on Tuesdays. We'll continue that tradition on the road Tuesdays this year. But let's get to the ball game tonight.
All right, of course, the opening game against the Milwaukee Brewers ended in dramatic fashion with, counting last year and this year, the 9th walk-off victory by the Reds.
And you look at all the different walk-off victories that the Reds have had since last year, and of course Ramon Hernandez this year. You've got a lot of different heroes. 9 walk-off victories, 6 different heroes. We'll show you some of them right here. But the one that I really like the most, Jim, I got to tell you, is a defensive walk-off victory where the Reds had the Cardinals on the special day when they were in here on the civil rights game, and the Cardinals tried to tie the ball game with running a runner around third base, and the Reds with a great relay from, I think, Gomes to the relay man, then into Hernandez, who applied the tag. That's the kind of walk-off victory I like, but any kind of victory is good, especially if the Reds end up on top.
Well, they get it from the offensive end last night. Hopefully they'll get it from the pitching end tonight. We'll take a break. When we come back, Travis Wood elevated to the number 2 spot in the Reds rotation to face Milwaukee. Ballpark, middle game of this three-game series. The Reds and the Brewers, over 42,000 here on opening day. Big crowd again tonight. Weather looks like it's going to be very good. And for more information on that, let's go to Aaron Seabree from WKRC.
This evening, by the first pitch, temperatures will be in the low to mid-50s with a partly cloudy sky. By the fifth inning, 48, partly cloudy, a bit breezy, partly cloudy. By the final out, temperatures will fall down into the mid-40s. Bundle up for this evening and have a good night.
Travis Wood will start tonight for the Reds. Gets his first start of the season after making 17 starts 1 year ago.
Well, he has pitched so well. I'll tell you what, he was a pitcher of the organization a couple of years ago. Last year, he really could have been again, the way he made it different stops. And he almost pitched a perfect game in Philadelphia right before the All-Star break. But let's take a look at the Reds rotation as we're looking forward to the next week. Obviously, after we got Travis Wood, we'll have Bronson Arroyo starting tomorrow. Then Mike Leake, of course, on the ball club, and he'll start on next Tuesday. And then Edinson Volquez will come back and start Wednesday again. And then we'll finally see Sam LeCure. So Volquez will pitch a couple of times by the time we see the number 5 starter, Sam LeCure. They're trying to give Bronson Arroyo just a little more rest. Of course, he still is recovering from the symptoms of mononucleosis, something he had down in spring training. Doesn't feel all that strong, but he says he's going to be able to give a pretty good outing tomorrow. But tonight, all eyes are on Travis Wood.
All right, Reds and the Brewers, middle game of the series. Back with a play-by-play in a moment. And here's what Ron Renicky will put out there tonight. Ricky Weeks, Carlos Gomez, Ryan Braun, the top three, the same. Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, Eric Almonte. He makes his first start of the year out in right field. And then Yuniesky Betancourt, Will Nieves, and the right-hander Sean Markham makes his first National League start.
Travis Wood last year, 17 starts, 5 wins overall, a very nifty 3.5 earned run average. I'll tell you what, when he got his good stuff going, you folks, you're going to look for his fastball and his changeup. Those are the two pitches that are really going to get him going.
He's ready to go, and the first pitch of game 2 of this series misses outside, and we are underway from GABP. Ricky Weeks led off the game, of course, Thursday with a long ball. This Milwaukee club turned out to be second in the National League last year in home runs behind the Reds, and let's hope they don't continue that trend here tonight. It was Weeks, and then it was Gomez who went back-to-back against Volquez on opening day. Weeks overall in the game went 2 for 5 with a pair of runs batted in. This ball hit hard and foul, and he's in the hole 1-2.
Boy, that gives you pretty good insight right there. How quick the bat of Ricky Weeks is. I mean, he jumped on a fastball when he saw it off of Edinson Volquez. That was the home run pitch. And there was a fastball by Travis Wood trying to get in on Weeks. And Weeks just wheels that lumber through the zone as quick as anybody.
Career best with 29 long ones a year ago. And he will bounce this one to a shaded Phillips at second, who throws him out in a good start. Let's take a look at the Reds defensively. Behind Travis Wood, brought to you by Ford. Johnny Gomes out in left field. Drew Stubbs in center. Jay Bruce in right. Roland and Renteria the left side. Edgar Renteria makes his Reds starting debut. Phillips and Votto on the right side with a battery of Travis Wood and Ryan Hannigan, who also gets his first start of 2011. Well, he'll be hard pressed to equal the job done by Ramon Hernandez in terms of offense. Here's Carlos Gomez. Hard, but on the grass at third. Scott Roland will throw him out. Well, a much better beginning tonight than we had on Thursday.
Tell you what, though, they're getting some pretty good swings off of Travis Wood, and it looked like Carlos Gomez looking for a fastball, got one on the first pitch, and he wheeled it through there pretty good. But there's Scott Roland, the Reds Gold Glover, taking care of things.
Well, he still has those great defensive reactions down there at third, doesn't he?
Well, you have to. And you play third base, it's you know, it's been described to me as like a fumble in football. I mean, the ball hits off of you, you look down, you grab it, and you go from there.
Here's Ryan Braun with 2 men out. Travis Wood is a quick worker and really has a nice compact motion, doesn't he?
I remember the first guy that told me about Travis Wood was Tom Browning, and he was just in love with the way that Wood went about his business, and his pace of game is very much like Browning. He gets it and is ready to go.
17 starts, we mentioned that last year. 10 of them quality starts, with 5 wins and 4 losses and a 3.51 ERA.
That last pitch, a little cut fastball. So occasionally Wood will cut the ball where it will go inside to a right-hander. That time he worked what you call the outside door. The back door came right over the outside part of the play with it.
Trying to put Braun away, and he breaks his bat. And now Renteria gets the opportunity, and a throw to first is in time, and a nice 1-2-3 frame turned in by the 24-year-old Travis Wood. It was brought to you by State Farm. State Farm agents are there when you need them. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, drive one. By Cincinnati, USA. Come for the Reds, stay for the fun. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Good start to this one for Travis Wood and the Reds. A 1-2-3 first on 3 ground balls. And now let's see what the Reds can do as this 29-year-old right-hander Sean Markham makes his National League debut.
Well, he was one of the big trades that the Brewers made over the winter, and he came over from Toronto. He's not an overpowering pitcher. This is a very odd statistic you'll see right here. For a right-handed hitter to hold lefties to such a low batting average, he does it with his changeup, and you're going to see a lot of them tonight.
It's been like that throughout his career, but so pronounced last year, over a 100-point difference. Drew Stubbs, who homered on opening day, gets things started for the Reds with Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto to follow. Stubbs on Thursday, 2 out of 5. Leadoff double in the first inning against Giovanni Gallardo. Then he went opposite field in the 4th. Now Markham quickly falls behind Stubbs. 3 balls and no strikes. Boy, just a great crowd gathered here tonight on this Saturday evening, and a 4-pitch walk gets the National League career of Sean Markham started. Here's the batting order now that Dusty Baker will put out there tonight. Drew Stubbs, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, Scott Roland, Johnny Gomes, Jay Bruce in the middle. Edgar Renteria, the only change from the Edgar Renteria and Ryan Hannigan, the 2 changes in the lineup from Thursday. And Travis Wood will do the pitching. Here's Brandon Phillips now with the Reds getting the leadoff man on. Reds did not steal a base in the game on Thursday. Just shy of 100 with 93, middle of the National League pack 1 year ago. 5 pitches, 5 out of the zone from Sean Markham.
Well, very Sean Markham-like, because this guy's signature is being able to throw the ball where he wants to. He does all the little things as a pitcher. He fields the position well. He holds runners very well. Not an easy guy to steal on. There you see 7 for 15 is all were stolen bases against Markham. Quick and compact to the plate.
First strike we've seen from the right-hander evens the count to Brandon Phillips.
You know, there is some uncertainty for the Brewers and Brewers people about Sean Markham. He pulled himself out of one of his starts down in Arizona. Then he skipped the start due to shoulder stiffness. Now, last year, he was recovering from Tommy John surgery that he had in 2009, missed the entire year. So they're not sure about his command right now, whether his touch is going to be any good, but they've got to run him out there. They have some injuries in their pitching staff, and Markham is healthy enough to pitch tonight.
Drew Stubbs, 30 stolen bases a year ago. Prince Fielder holds him over there.
But he is the kind of pitcher, like a lot of guys, if you let him get into the rhythm, if you let him get into a groove, he gets tougher and tougher. Oftentimes, the first inning is when you have to pounce on him.
There goes the runner. The throw is going to be late, and a stolen base for Drew Stubbs, number 1 of the year for Cincinnati. Not a great pitch in which to throw on for Will Nieves.
Well, it looked like it could have been a changeup. It came down and inside to Brandon Phillips. Phillips probably created a little bit of interference for the catcher. But Stubbs, man, oh man, can he fly.
An opportunity for the Reds early in this game to jump in front.
And an opportunity for Brandon Phillips, give himself up, hit the ball to the other side, and get Stubbs over to third. Stubbs
only caught 6 times a year ago in stealing those 30. Now he's going to try to get third, and he is out at third base.
Now, one of the 3 commandments in baseball is don't make your first or your third out at third base. And Drew Stubbs thought he had it. I mean, he had a pretty good lead, a running jump, but that is an excellent throw by Will Nieves. I mean, right on the money down to Casey McGee, and they snuff it out.
There's our Performance Honda Exmo look at Drew Stubbs trying to get third base with Casey McGee putting the tag on. Hey, Will Nieves is going to be throughout the season the backup catcher to Jonathan Lucroy, but he defensively is pretty darn good.
Takes the wind right out of your sails there.
Now has gone full to Brandon Phillips. Opening day, he was 1 for 4. His 1 was a big leadoff single in the 9th inning off the wall and left, and he had ideas You remember about trying to stretch that to 2. That's out number 2 on the strikeout. Take a look at the Brewers now behind Sean Markham, a forward defensive look. They have Ryan Braun, Carlos Gomez, Eric Almonte in the outfield. Almonte is an infielder playing right tonight. The infield, Casey McGee and Yuniesky Betancourt the left side. Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder the right side. And there's your battery. Sean Markham pitching. Will Nieves catching. Here's Joey Votto. They shift him around, and there's a line drive base hit.
I'm talking to Brooke Jacoby, the Reds hitting coach before the game, and I'd asked him about a lot of the players, and I said especially about Joey Votto. This guy looks locked in. He says, you know he does. It's amazing. In the last 3 games in spring training, it was Joey Votto really kind of fighting himself a little bit, but something happened when the bell rang for real. He hit the ball very hard on opening day, and that is a classic swing right there. Nothing makes your hitting coach any happier than driving one right back through the box.
Votto dropped the head of the bat in the 7th inning on opening day and launched one into the bullpen area, and he makes solid contact here to keep the 1st inning going. Here's Roland. Scott opening day 0 for 4. He hit what turned out to be a big ball in that game in the 9th inning on the ground ball to McGee at 3rd, who argued that he had tagged the runner Phillips coming in. Then McGee said, well, maybe I thought he was out of the baseline, but in the end he said I probably should have just thrown to 1st, because then the ball hit by Gomes to center would have been the final out of the game. But those breaks went the Reds' way.
Well, the matchup that we have right here with Sean Markham and Scott Roland, a couple of former teammates. They both played for the Toronto Blue Jays in 2008 and 2009. Of course, Markham was on the DL the entire 2009 season. But before Scott Roland made his trade here to Cincinnati, these guys were together north of the border.
Markham is a Kansas City guy, so he loved to get back to the Midwest. Story is he found out about the trade while attending a Kansas City Chiefs NFL game. Toronto GM called him. He said, let me call you back after the game. And he said, no, I think you better call me now. He went for a prize prospect, Brett Laurie, an infielder who goes to the Toronto Ball Club. Markham out of Missouri State, 3rd round pick in 03 by the Blue Jays. Roland hit it well.
Get up, baby.
And the Reds have taken the early lead. Stubbs, Votto, and Hernandez on Thursday. Roland so far tonight, 2-0 Cincinnati.
What a nice, sweet swing from a very powerful guy. You see the catcher, Will Nieves. He wanted that ball up and way out of the strike zone. As it turned out, it was at the very upper end, maybe a little bit of out of the strike zone, but Roland liked it enough to tomahawk that bad boy right out of here.
Roland and Gomes, who's up there now, were the only 2 Reds that didn't get a hit on opening day. Roland has come through with a long ball. Now here's Johnny Gomes.
Well, they expected a big crowd tonight, Jim. They're expecting close to capacity, 38,000 at least. And the Reds give them something to cheer about here early on with that 2-run bomb. It looked like after Drew Stubbs got picked off trying to go to 3rd base on a stolen base that the Reds wouldn't be able to get anything going.
Yeah, let's hope that the stolen base of Stubbs at 3rd doesn't come back to haunt them later. It could have made it a 3-0 game, but as is, 2-0 on the 2-run homer by Scott Roland. 20 of them a year ago in his first full Red season. Number 1 tonight. Gomes becomes the 2nd free pass issued by Sean Markham here in the 1st, and that's atypical of him throughout the course of his career.
Well, it is, but you know, this is early in the year for him. He did not get as much work in spring training that he had hoped to. and he's probably a little bit gun shy. I mean, he sees balls flying out of this ballpark. He just gave up a home run to Scott Roland, and after that you begin to pitch away from contact a little bit. It happens at every level. You give up a homer, and next guy usually gets a base on balls, and even to the best of them.
Markham is prone to the long ball. He gave up 24 last year, and in fact he gave up 20 or more in each of the last 3 years that he toiled for the Blue Jays in the American League.
Of course, when you're in the American League East, you're pitching against some sluggers, and with the designated hitter there, you're going to give up a lot of home runs. That's why general managers, as a rule, love those pitchers that have been tested and weathered in that American League East when you're pitching against the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Orioles and the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays in years late. They expect big things out of Markham, but he's not really all that sharp tonight.
Well, speaking of pitching in the American League East and talking about Markham, there's an interesting number that's out there. Markham last year goes 13-8, 12-2 against everybody else in the American League, but 1-6 against Boston, the Yankees, and Tampa Bay. Now he's on the brink of walking his third here in the first inning. Bruce on opening day, 2 out of 5 with a pair of singles. There's ball 4. So Markham walks Stubbs, walks Gomes, now walks Bruce. Those two back-to-back after the Roland long ball.
Oh, you know, one of the things that they were talking about in the Brewers camp with Sean Markham is the fact that he's very efficient with his pitches, that even though he did not get as many innings in spring training as he wanted, he still would be able to go deep into a ball game because he's usually a guy that only throws about 15 pitches per inning. But right now he's already thrown 26. He's not out of the inning yet. He's walked 3 batters, given up a home run. Boy, there's no better time than to just pile on than right now.
Rick Kranitz is the pitching coach of the Milwaukee Ball Club. He pays a visit to the mound. Will Nieves joined them, and now he takes his position. And here is Edgar Renteria, who's had a good career against Sean Markham. 4 out of 8.
That's why he's in the lineup.
He bats with 2 on, 2 out, 2 in the first. Renteria making his Reds debut. MVP, of course, of the World Series last year with San Francisco. And boy, during spring training in Scottsdale, he got a great round of applause when he was announced in that game. Giants fans still love him. Renteria had a good spring, 333 with a homer and 6 RBIs. Now he finds himself in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Says strike 3 called to Edgar Renteria, and the inning comes to an end. But a 2-run homer by Roland has given the Reds the lead. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio.
Well, changeup is the key for Travis Wood. Fastball, changeup, if you rank the importance of his pitches, but he's able to have such a quick arm action that hitters rarely pick up that changeup. And if he throws it down in the location he does on this particular pitch, he'll get the same result nearly every time. The changeup, a big-time pitch for Travis tonight.
He will look to duplicate what he did in the first, that being a 1-2-3 inning, and he gets the lefty Prince Fielder to get the top of the second started. Fielder on opening day, 1 out of 3. He drew 2 walks. Both were intentional. And while he did not lead the National League last year in intentional walks, he did lead the NL in walks overall with 122.
You know, one way to gauge a pitcher is to watch the hitter and see how the hitter reacts to the pitcher. Some guys just don't pick the ball up all that well on him. I think that's the way with a lot of left-handers against Travis Wood. The ball gets on him very quickly. He has what scouts call a quick arm, where he gets the ball out of his glove and up behind his left ear very quickly.
Breaking ball from Wood, and down goes Fielder on strikes.
Well, Ryan Hannigan called for the slider right here, and there it is. It's more of a curveball slurve than it is a hard slider, but he takes something off of it. You can see the bend in the break moving away from the lefty, and after a couple of perfectly placed fastballs, even Prince Fielder can't do much with that.
Wood faced this Brewers group twice last year, had a win at the end of July when he went 5, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, and then a no decision on the first day of October, a game Milwaukee won in extra innings. He allowed 3 runs in 6 1/3 in that game. Not many Brewer players have faced him very often. Braun, McGee, who's up there now, and Ricky Weeks, 5 at bats coming into this game. That's the most. Casey McGee 1 for 4 with a couple of RBIs on opening day, a sac fly in the first, a run producing single in the 7th against Jordan Smith.
That gives you a real good indication how your fastball is on any given night. You go 2-0, 2 balls and no strikes to a good fastball hitter, and you say, here it comes, and throw him a fastball, and he fouls it straight back. You're getting it up there.
Another good breaking ball.
Now that's the real curveball right there. We saw him throw a slider to get Prince Fielder out. That baby, well, that might be the same pitch, but that baby really has some sink to it. If you're Casey McGee, you're not sure what to look for right here.
Well, he fell behind 2-0. Now he's come back to even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. There it appears simply that Wood and Hannigan not quite together. Casey McGee last year, career highs in homers and RBIs with 23 and 104. Pretty good for a former Rule 5 draftee by the Brewers from Chicago. Phillips again cheating toward the middle, will make the play, throw McGee out. How about that look that Brandon Phillips has going for the 2nd consecutive day, a la Bill Bray, with the pants up around the knees.
A la old-time Cincinnati Red Stockings.
There was a time in the minor leagues for the Red system when everybody had to do it like that. They no longer have that rule.
Well, they do, but you know, back in the day when the Reds made all their players show a lot of those red socks, there were stirrups. You'd wear what they call sanitary socks. Those are the white ones. Then you pull your stirrup socks on. And nowadays the socks they give out are regular tube socks. There is no stirrup right there.
Yeah, there's many a player that if you mention the word stirrup socks to them, they would have no idea what you're talking about. Every once in a while we'll see Joey Votto wear it like that during batting practice. By and large, you don't see him that way during the game. That's the look you see during the game for most everyone.
BP is trying to give his calves a breath.
Eric Almonte, an interesting story, now 33 years old, made this ball club out of spring training. The first time in his career that he has made a big league roster when they break Ken. Infielder who's playing right field tonight. Appeared in the game on opening day as a pinch hitter and popped up, the only batter to face Bill Bray. Hasn't appeared in the big league since 2003 with the Yankees, a team that initially signed him as a non-drafted free agent way back in 1996. He's what you call a grinder right here.
There we go. Now we're talking about stirrups. There's Pete wearing them the way every Red used to wear them.
There's those sanitary socks you're talking about right below those red stirrups. Second chance of the night for Roland. And the inning is over. Another 1-2-3 frame for Travis Wood. 2-0 Reds. Middle of the second. "30 minutes before every game with Reds Live here on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live, everything a Reds fan needs to get ready for the game, and it's only on your exclusive home for Reds baseball. Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. 2-0 Reds. We're in the middle of the second, opening night here at Great American Ballpark. Opening day, a huge success thanks to Ramon Hernandez in the bottom of the ninth inning. Reds won that one 7-6. Another, if not capacity, near capacity crowd here again this evening. The Reds lead on the strength of the 2-run homer by Scott Roland, 2-0. Hannigan's first at bat of the season is a line drive in the left and a base hit. Tonight's broadcast is on American Forces Network. The American Forces Network broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and abroad, ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. The Reds, the Milwaukee Brewers.
We thank you, we respect you, and we hope you all come home safe.
Travis Wood bats right, throws left, wanted to bunt, takes a strike.
Well, you mentioned that, Jim, and it's worthwhile mentioning it because he wears a brace on his left elbow. After all, that's where his moneymaker is, that left arm. But when you're bat right-handed, opposite of the way you throw, your front side is what's exposed. So that's why Travis Wood has that little armband right there, and his job now is to get the runner over to second base.
Well, that tandem of Hannigan and Hernandez were so good last year, and boy, they've certainly gotten off to a good start in the first game, plus what, an inning and a half of this one thus far, with Hernandez going 4 for 5 on opening day, Hannigan getting a base hit in his first AB.
You know, Wood is a good enough hitter that if Casey McGee, the third baseman, continues to charge as aggressively as he has, they may pull the little butcher boy play. Have him fake a bunt, pull it back, and swing away.
Does get Wood on it, but fouls it. Now Travis in the hole.
And here's where it would make some sense to put that butcher boy play on, because you know you can fake the bunt, try to bring the infield in, get the infielders moving a little bit, even with 2 strikes, and then pull it back and swing away. If you foul it off, then you're still alive. If you, of course you foul it off attempting to bunt, you're seated with a strikeout.
Well, he did have, talking about Travis Wood, 7 hits last year, including a home run in St. Louis against the now injured Adam Wainwright. That's exactly what he does. Shows bunt, pulls back, and swings away, and get pretty good Wood on that.
Well, when you've got an athletic pitcher and a guy that is just a good all-around player, this is a good play for you, because you know what it does as a hitter, it makes you take a little smaller swing, a smaller approach. You lay the bat out there first, you pull it back, and then all your concentration is to try to make contact no matter what. Don't hit it hard, just make contact. Gives the third baseman a little something to think about too.
McGee is still in on the grass at third. Charges in a little bit more as Wood shows bunt again and gets a good one down. They'll get the runner along, and through all that, a good plate appearance by Travis Wood. The sacrifice goes 1-3.
Boy, gotta like that. Travis Wood made Sean Markham work for this out. He lays the bunt down, good spot right there, nowhere but first base for Markham to go, and Brian Hannigan in scoring position.
What about the hustle from Travis Wood? When he's on that field, he's always 100%, isn't he?
Well, every minute of the day. When he's in uniform and on the field. When he's off the field, you're looking at one of the most laid-back guys in this ball club. Really doesn't care which way that river's flowing.
So that sac bunt gives Stubbs an RBI chance. He's going to deliver with a gap shot to left center. Chased down at the wall by Gomez. Hannigan will store. There goes Stubbs, headed to third. In there with a slide. 3-base hit, Drew Stubbs.
Well, he doesn't wait very long. They are teeing off on Sean Markham. This will find the gap, so extra bases easily will score as Ryan Hannigan. But watch Drew Stubbs. He comes around first base and then second, and then he kind of hesitates between second and third. Say, should I go or not? Well, I think I'll go. And an easy 3-bagger for the speedster.
He had 6 triples a year ago. He gets number 1 here. Tell you what, he's been on twice tonight and 2 times on opening day out of that leadoff spot. Now a lot of ways with 1 out for Brandon Phillips to get Stubbs home. Remember, it was Milwaukee who jumped out in front 3-0 and 4-1 on Thursday. Tonight the Reds take a 3-0 early advantage. Brandon Phillips most comfortable in the second and third spot in the batting order, and he's in the number 2 hole for the second consecutive game in 2011.
Right now, the Reds are not chasing the changeup of Sean Markham because he's unable to really command his fastball. And that's the most important thing for a changeup pitcher, to be able to move your fastball around, show the hitters that you can throw that baby over the plate. Then they become aggressive and they become susceptible to the change. But he has not gotten to the first step yet. He chased that one.
Laid off the one before, chases this one, strikes out for the second out of the inning.
That's why Sean Markham's changeup is so good. Look at the bite on that ball. Looks for a moment to Brandon Phillips like it's going to come in right at the lower end of the strike zone, but by the time it gets to the plate, it's in the dirt.
So with 2 out is Joey. Votto facing Markham for the first time. Joey from Toronto. Markham played in Toronto. That base hit his first time. Votto now been on base 4 times already this season. Weeks gets there and bounces it over to fielder, who dropped the ball. He had a decent chance to make that play. Ball hit the ground, hit his glove, came out.
Well, Weeks throws it off his back leg, doesn't have much on it, but he bounces it so much in front of the first baseman fielder that it should be an easy pickup. Fielder tries to backhand it, and looks like he just squeezed the glove too early.
So the run scores. It's now 4-0 Reds as Stubbs crosses the plate. Votto safely on, and here's Roland. An error charged on that ball. The Prince fielder at first.
It's a tough error on the first baseman. Backhand the ball in the dirt. It's a Brewers error. We don't care.
Well, as you said, and probably the selling point of that was there was enough space in there that it appeared he could have made that play.
It was almost enough space. I mean, between where Joey Votto was as the runner and fielder when he received the ball, he could have come off the bag, fielded it, and then found the bag and stepped on it. But still, he had his back turned towards home plate, trying to pick a ball in the dirt to his backhand, and he picks up an error.
That's what you see second basemen do all the time when they're playing at first, accepting a throw on a sacrifice bunt.
It's a big old hang with him. You ever heard that before?
Once or twice. Sean Markham sitting at 45 pitches, trying to get through the bottom of the second. Roland gave the Reds the early lead. Now bats with a 4-0 advantage. This one near second base, and the shortstop will get it. That's Betancourt. Roland gone, side retired, but a good bunt, and then the good hit by Stubbs. The Reds lead 4-0. Budweiser Clydesdales as they deliver the game ball for the second game in a row here at GABP, and riding atop the hitch, 6 local winners from the latest Bud Text to Win promotion. Budweiser Clydesdales in all their glory. There's a job for you. Look at all those reins. 4-0 Reds into the third. Unaneski Betancourt leads it off. He caught the pop-up off the bat of Roland to end the bottom of the second. Leads it off here in the third, and now Roland will get a chance to throw him out, and he does. For the first out of the inning. Hey, Reds fans, if a Reds player hits the Toyota sign during today's game, John Neal from Harrison, Ohio, who currently owns a 2010 Tundra, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark. You can register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. That one's got a paint job on it. Seven faced, 7 retired by Travis Wood. Nieves is jammed on that one and pops it up. 2 out.
First time the Brewers have put one in the air prior to that out. 7 outs in the ball game, 6 of them by ground ball outs and 1 strikeout. Brewers have yet to hit the ball out of the infield.
So the batter will be Sean Markham, and let's go back and correct something that I said. That ball hit by Votto, which I said was E3, was actually E4 on Ricky Weeks. I still think it was an E3.
Well, it's the opinion of Ron Roth.
That's right.
That carries the weight around here. I knew Roth was too smart to make that mistake.
John Markham, first National League at bat, 1 for 4 last year in interleague games, 1 for 10 in his career as a hitter. That one was a double. Wood looking to set the side down in order for the 3rd straight inning and go through their order.
Boy, he is coming right at him. Strike 1, strike 2.
Six ground balls, a strikeout, and a pop-up through the first 8. Gets it. Strikeout number 2. And a 1-2-3 third for the young left-hander. 4-0 Reds, middle of the third. Pirates. Then stick around after the game for a free post-game faith concert featuring Grammy-nominated artist Jeremy Camp, presented by Prasco. Plus, the first 20,000 fans at the game will receive a 2011 team calendar. For tickets, call 381-REDS or visit reds.com. 4-0 Reds here. We go to the bottom of the third. They've been able to touch up this right-hander, Sean Markham, for 2 in the first on a 2-run homer by Roland. 2 more in the second. RBI triple by Stubbs, and then an error on Weeks on a ground ball off the bat of Votto. Fell out of the glove of the first baseman fielder, allowing Stubbs to score. Ruled as an unearned run. They all count, however, and it's 4-0 Reds here in the bottom of the third. Johnny Gomes to bat first. Johnny walked his first time. Still in search of hit number 1 so far this year. Numbers wise, when you look at what Johnny did during the spring, it wasn't as good as some of the others. He hit 200, but did hit 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. And most importantly, the last week, he really started to hit the ball well.
Well, he got off to a horrendous start in spring training. I mean, he came in great shape, maybe better shape than he's ever been in before, but he didn't do a lot of baseball activity before camp. He came in just in good cardiovascular and muscle strength. But the deeper he got in the spring, the more at bats he got, the more he looked like Johnny Gomes.
He will walk for the second consecutive time and now make that 4 walks for Sean Markham in this game. That's a 4-pitch walk. The third of this game for Markham. Now compare that to last year. We talked about what he did. 31 starts. He had 6 4-pitch walks all of last year, and he has 3 tonight. So he will go back to a similar spot that he's been in this game, and that is working from the stretch. Bruce walked his first time.
Oh, Jim Kelch talking about the 3-pitch or the 4-pitch walks that he's had tonight. Last year, he only had 26 3-0 counts the entire season. And already tonight, he's had 5 of those. So he is very off his game, at least what the Brewers expected to see out of Sean Markham.
He's walked 4 tonight. His career high is 5. He's done that on 2 occasions. Once last year in interleague play when he walked 5 San Francisco Giants in June.
He keeps throwing that changeup down and away, missing at this point, and Jay Bruce not offering at it. I mean, when you're as wild as Sean Markham is right now, you don't get guys chasing you as peripheral pitches, the ones that are just right off the plate. Like Jay Bruce is one guy that Dusty Baker talked to after the opening day. He had a couple of hits in that ball game, but really didn't look all that great at the plate. And Dusty's remarks to him, hey, relax up there. You're going to get at least 1 pitch in every at-bat that you can handle. Don't jump at it. Don't freeze when you see it. Relax your eyes, relax your approach, and be ready for it.
The one batter that John Axford faced in that 9th inning, in which he went right at, was Bruce, and looked like he got him on a changeup, didn't he?
Well, he got him on a curveball, and that's really the calling card for John Axford. And I don't know whether it was cold that day, he couldn't get the feel of it, but he went almost 99% fastballs and then threw that one real good curveball. Every other one that he tried, he bounced in the dirt. It was a fastball that Hernandez hit opposite field to win the ball game. There's a changeup.
Bruce is a strikeout victim.
You know, know they say that a real good changeup, that the hitter actually swings at your arm motion and not at the ball, because he's so used to seeing the ball coming out of your hand, arm motion, fastball. Well, if the same arm motion do you give as a changeup as a fastball motion, he swings at that, and that's what exactly Jay Bruce did right there.
Well, here's Edgar Renteria, called out on strikes his first time. Markham now has recorded 4 in the strikeout department.
Well, you can see the body language of Sean Markham. He throws a pitch like that, misses badly, shakes his head. He stared down Larry, bent over the home plate umpire a couple of times on marginal pitches. Just one of those nights where you've got to gut it out.
On a hit and run, a bouncer foul by Renteria. Johnny Gomes retreats. If everything had gone well, Chris, for Milwaukee, you figured that Zach Greinke would have been the starter on Thursday. Then do you figure that Markham would have started today, or do you feel like we may have seen Yovani Gallardo in this second game?
You know, that was the speculation that the people who are following the Brewers were talking about all spring, because of course they also want to hold one of their pitchers back, their best guy, for their home opener. And there was actually speculation that they still would have had Gallardo pitch the opening day here, Markham the next day, maybe Wolf the third day, and then hold Greinke back for their opening day. So a lot of different scenarios going on. But you know what? After the first game is over, it seems like now we're down to real baseball. I mean, something about opening day is such a wild card. You're not sure what's going to happen. Tonight, nice crowd. They're sitting back enjoying some Reds runs right now.
Renteria trying to move the runner along, and he pops it up. Who's going to get it? Weeks takes control. The second baseman handles it for the second out. Join FoxSportsOhio.com Hall of Fame baseball writer Hal McCoy right now for a live in-game chat. Plus, check out the latest from Big Ten insider Bruce Hooley. It's only on FoxSportsOhio.com, presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. Here's Hannigan. Career best last year in RBIs with 40. Base hit his first time tonight. He's able to lay off that pitch, which dips a little bit low for ball 1. Leadoff walk in this inning to Gomes. And the strikeout of Bruce, and the pop up by Renteria. A little bit closer, but Hannigan gets the call, and it's 2-0. Tomorrow afternoon, in the final game of this series, it'll be 17-game winner from a year ago, Bronson Arroyo, against the lefty Randy Wolf. He won 13 for Milwaukee last season. Arroyo made one start against Milwaukee last year, and despite going the distance, suffered the loss in that game 3-2 up in Milwaukee the end of July. Hannigan hits it well, but it will be run down in center field by Carlos Gomez. So the first inning of this game, in which the Reds don't score, but they lead 4-0. Brought to you by JTM Food Group, proudly serving America's restaurants, schools, retailers, and our military around the world. JTM Food Group. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Sonic, America's drive-in. It's new, it's better, it's the new Sonic Good. Take a look at the Honda standings in the National League Central Division. There you see the Reds on top. Reds spent the last 50 days of 2010 atop the NL Central, and that's where they start this year, and they are still on top of the division, meaning wire to wire is still possible. Right or wrong?
It is possible. Of course, you can't win them all unless you win the first one. The Reds did, or the second one. They're in control right now.
Well, they're trying to win the first 2 games of the season for the first time since 2005. In fact, Reds have started 2-0 just twice in the last 19 seasons. They did it in 05. They did it in 97. Trying to do it here in 2011.
I'm sure that one of the things the Brewers said as they organized their season was they have to play better baseball against the Reds this year than they did last year. I think the last 9 times that the Brewers have come into this ballpark, they've only walked away with 1 win. They've had a horrible record against the Reds last year. Of course, that's the new manager, Ron Renicky. Gone is Ken Baca. They've changed over some of their coaches and not too many of their players.
Right down the heart of the plate.
I mean, he is out there just painting tonight. Man, oh man, just dusting that outside corner.
So it gets Weeks for strikeout number 3 in this game. 10 faced, 10 retired. Here's Carlos Gomez. Visions of July 10th against Philly dancing in our heads right now. Gomez bounced out to third back in the first inning. Roland is cheating in on the edge of the grass. This one will drift. Oh, and almost caught by Hannigan. He stayed right with that.
He stayed right with it, but nobody was there to help him in case he started falling down the steps. Everybody was kind of looking up. That ball coming down at an angle.
Chris Spire is there on the right of your screen. Now on the left, he'll come into view, maybe.
You know, that ball looked for a while like it was going to go 3 or 4 rows deep, but it's got such spin on it that it'll come back at a weird angle back towards the field.
Stubbs has a beat on this fly ball. His first action of the night. Well, as you mentioned earlier, not many balls hit in the air. 2 out for Ryan Braun. Time for our AT&T trivia question of the night. Since 1946, who are the only 3 Reds with 4 hits on opening day?
I know one of them.
Only 3 Reds with 4 hits on opening day since 1946. One of them occurred 2 days ago. Who are the others? Our AT&T trivia question. 2 out for Braun. Boy, there's a key part of this game tonight, Chris. Strike 1.
Hey, he's coming right after the hitters. I mean, that shows me that he's got great confidence in his stuff. A lot of guys that begin to nibble at the corners and, you know, try to get the hitters to chase stuff for them early in the count. They're hoping that the hitters make it out. I think Travis Wood saying, all right, here's my best stuff. You just go ahead and swing the bat. Same sequence right there that he did the first at bat for Ryan Braun. Fastball and then a cut fastball on the outside corner. Braun gave up on that pitch. He finds himself down in the hole 0-2.
came into this inning having thrown 31 pitches. He's sitting at 40 right now. That near perfect game he threw against Philadelphia on the 10th of July. He had 54 pitches through 4. So he's on a better pace tonight than he was then. Renteria will need to hurry and can't get it there in time. He laid back a little bit on that ball. Braun hustled all the way. Ryan Braun becomes the first Brewers base runner of the night.
I'm surprised that Renteria didn't learn from the first time, because he had a bang play at first base on Ryan Braun's previous at bat, a ground ball down in the count, almost beat it out. It was bang then by Renteria. This time one extra step for Ryan Braun, and a kid who said he came into camp in better shape than ever before. Man, he is running very well.
Renteria appeared to take a little extra crow hop there before he made that throw, and that cost him. So Wood works from the stretch for the first time.
You know, I know it doesn't really matter except in a case of earned runs, but that really ought to go down as an error. There's no way that a ball that is hit in a routine way to the shortstop, he comes in and fields and just takes too much time to throw the ball to first base. That ought to be to an E, not an infield hit. Of course, that's a pitcher's union talking.
Let's take a look at it again.
Because sometimes you make the adjustment when you field a ball before you even field it. If you've got a speedy runner, a guy like, you know, Drew Stubbs, for instance, you're going to play a step in to make sure that if you do get a ball that is not hit all that hard, that you're going to be closer to first base and have a chance to throw the guy out. If you're laying back, playing a regular depth, and all of a sudden you're surprised by the speed of the hitter, well, that's okay if they fool you one time. But this is Renteria's second time to do that. Very odd for a veteran like that and a good player in his whole career to make that mistake.
Well, to his defense, he's a two-time Gold Glove winner. Now a fielder slices that ball in the left center down for a hit, and so after the first two set down in this inning, and 11 in a row by Travis Wood, infield hit, and now the line drive by Prince Fielder.
I'll tell you what, the guy's got great plate coverage. Even on 2 strikes, you know, the Reds like to shift against Prince Fielder against a right-handed pitcher, but with 2 strikes, he'll hit that ball the other way as well as anybody. Guy's a gamer.
Jason McGee, right-handed hitter at the plate, 2 on, 2 out. He bounced out to Phillips his first time. Wood comes right at him, and McGee fouls it away.
That's that hard slider that McGee really got it in on the thumbs. He's checking his bat right now. That ball almost hit down around the pine tar,
of which there is a ton on that bat.
Good old Uncle Charlie coming to town.
Almost looked like it fooled Hannigan, didn't it? Got him. 4th strikeout for Travis Wood. Works around the 2 hits. Still owns a 4-0 lead. Nothing in favor of the Reds over the Milwaukee Brewers. And let's get back to our AT&T trivia question. Since 1946, who are the only 3 Reds with 4 hits on opening day? We know one was Ramon Hernandez. The others, Paul O'Neill, Jim Greengrass.
Tell me a little about Jim Greengrass.
He was a landscaper by trade.
Hit the ball on the ground a lot.
Travis Wood leading things off here in the bottom of the 4th. Laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt, so everything he's been involved with in this game has been of a positive nature. Chased one here and strikes out for out number 1. Join the Reds tomorrow when they face this same Milwaukee Brewers club, and the first 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a 2011 Reds magnetic schedule and logo card magnet courtesy of PNC. Get tickets now by calling 513-381-REDS or go to reds.com. These 2 teams will wrap up this opening 3-game set tomorrow, but not the opening homestand. Reds have the day off Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday have the Houston Astros in town. Stubbs been on twice in this game. Milwaukee back into Cincinnati 2 more times this year. 3-game series at the end of May, 3-game series in the middle of September, and the Reds have 2 visits up to Miller Park late this month, late April, and then the 7th through the 10th of July up there. Those are the final 4 games prior to the All-Star break.
Is that a weekend the Reds are going up there?
Yes, indeed it is.
That's Music Fest up there, if I'm not mistaken.
7th through the 10th.
One of the biggest weekends of the year in Milwaukee.
It could be a huge road trip for the Reds. It begins with 3 in St. Louis and then 4 in Milwaukee and then the All-Star break.
It would be a great road trip for a bunch of folks from Cincinnati to head on up to Milwaukee to follow their Reds. Be a fun time. Markham all of a sudden getting it together.
So he gets the first 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. So it's 2 visits to Milwaukee for the Reds, 1 in April and 1 in July. So they'll be done with the Brewers on the road before the All-Star break. That could be huge later on.
And quickly looking up a little bit on Jim Greengrass, because maybe we disrespected him a little bit. The guy could play. He played about 5 or 6 years with the Reds. In fact, the year that he had 4 hits on opening day, he also hit 27 home runs and drove in more than 90.
Phillips bidding for a hit, and that's taken away by Carlos Gomez. There's your first 1-2-3 inning of the night by Sean Markham. today to see every Reds game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. With MLB.TV Premium, you can enjoy HD quality, home and away coverage, multi-game view, and the ability to pause and rewind live games. Visit Reds.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Travis Wood, 4 innings with a shutout baseball. Retired the first 11 that came to the plate against him in this game, and we'll deal now with Eric Almonte to get inning number 5 underway. Hard to left and a home run. Second deck shot for Eric Almonte, the second of this series to land up there by the Brewers. Carlos Gomez did it in the first yesterday. Eric Almonte does it here in the 5th.
Well, until Corey Hart comes back, it's going to be a platoon package out in right field for the Brewers. And Almonte will answer the bell against left-handers. Normally a guy that doesn't display a lot of power, but he's stronger now. He was once more of a middle infielder, but he's a corner infielder and a corner outfielder. And that is a upper deck swing.
Yuniesky Betancourt fouls that ball out of play. That is only the second major league home run by Eric Almonte. Hit one as a Yankee back in 2003. He gets his first National League one here. This sends Stubbs to the track, but he handles it. Betancourt is 0 for 2 in this game and 0 for 6 so far this year. Here's Will Nieves. You talk about Corey Hart being out. Nieves replacing Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate until Lucroy comes back with a fractured pinky finger. Zach Greinke with the fractured ribs. They really went through it in terms of injuries this year. Manny Parra, a stiff back. Reds started with 5 on the DL, as did this Milwaukee club. LaTroy Hawkins, right shoulder surgery. He's on the DL. They had a number of ailments throughout the spring. Braun, Weeks, Betancourt.
Well, they really lost some very key pieces. And when you lose your starting catcher and your opening day starter, it's pretty tough to replace, because no matter who you put in there, they're a backup player compared to your best players on the ball club. And that's where they are. Yes, the Reds did lose Johnny Cueto and Homer Bailey, 2 guys that were projected to be in the starting rotation. But their starting 8 pretty much, for the most part of spring training, healthy. I mean, there were some nicks and bruises along the way, a sore muscle here, maybe a sore back there, but nothing that would cause any concern for Dusty Baker. A little different story for the Brewers.
Ron Renneke in his first year as a manager, the last 11 years in the dugout with the Los Angeles Angels, the last 5 of which he was the bench coach there to Mike Scioscia. His pitching coach, Rick Kranitz.
And of course, their bench coach this year for the Brewers is former Reds manager Jerry Narron. 3rd time in his career he served as a bench coach. Interesting story, because Jerry Narron really was at first set to take a job with Clint Hurdle and be the bench coach in Pittsburgh. When he got a call from one of his old teammates, Doug Melvin, who is now the general manager for the Milwaukee Brewers, and called up Jerry and said, hey, would you be interested in talking to us? And they had a conversation with Ron Renneke, and he felt very comfortable. Renneke felt comfortable. And one thing led to another, and Jerry decided to take the offer here in Milwaukee.
Of course, that was his position when he initially came to Cincinnati under Dave Miley.
Smart baseball guy.
Remember, his brother Johnny Narron was with the club back when Josh Hamilton was here. Now he's with the Texas Rangers. Josh Hamilton, Johnny Narron, longtime friends from years ago back in the Raleigh-Durham area. after the home run ball by Almonte, the fly out by Betancourt, the strikeout of Nieves. Now Wood trying to put away Sean Markham for the second time tonight. You ready to go for tomorrow night, Chris? Reds uncut, live at the Aronoff?
Oh, you better believe it.
Softly to short. Renteria handles it. And 3 in a row after the home run ball. But the Brewers are on the board.
We wanted it ended last season with a homer like that, and then to start this season with a homer like that. I mean, these guys, they don't quit, they don't panic, and boy, that was an exciting finish. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I was just hoping that ball went out of the ballpark.
Place went crazy when Ramon Hernandez hit that home run ball, as did the manager of the Reds, Dusty Baker. He had a little jig of his own. Dusty was a happy camper, wasn't he?
I'll tell you what, you can say what you want. I'm a believer in Dusty karma. We've seen it before. I mean, just think about the Reds last year. Their first 6 victories of the season were in their last at bat. Overall, they won 22 games last year in their last at bat. So the naysayers around saying, well, the Reds were lucky last year. There's no way they're going to be able to repeat that. And what do they do on opening day? Amazing.
45 come from behind wins last year, and as you mentioned, 22 last at bat wins. And as we talked about on the pregame early on, 8 of those were walk-off wins, counting yesterday's, actually Thursday's, 9 now last year plus opening day this year. Votto gives it a ride, but it'll be caught out in left field by Ryan Braun for out number 1. So Joey is 1 out of 3.
That's the changeup by Sean Markham. He's beginning to get a pretty good feel of it, much in the way that Edinson Volquez did on opening day. Gave up back-to-back home runs to start the game. His first 2 innings, he threw nearly 50 pitches. Well, same for Markham tonight. He's up over 75 pitches now here in the 5th inning. But you take a lot of power away from a left-handed hitter when you feather that ball outside with not a whole lot on it. Make that guy supply his own power, and Joey Votto only got it to the track.
Scott Roland got the scoring started in this game. 2-run homer to left field, his first of the year. He ended up with 20 with 83 driven in a year ago. He's headed to run now toward the corner and right. Foul ball. Almonte picks it up, got ready to fire it back in. Boy, that was awfully close at the 325 mark down the right field corner. I mean to tell you, there was not much room for that ball to hit right above the 3 and just to the right of the yellow line. Good camera work right there. That had the potential, that ball, of review all over. Roland takes strike 3. 6th strikeout for Sean Markham, who had a career high 165 of them a year ago. He's now set down 8 in a row, 9 of his last 10. So as you mentioned, Chris, he's really starting to get a better feel for everything.
Well, if you're the Reds, you can't put your bats away. This Milwaukee ball club is a very good offensive team. They can score in a hurry. You got to keep pushing them. Talked about the go-to pitch for Sean Markham. It's his changeup, and there you see the grip on it. When you see his index finger right here, kind of off the ball a little bit. That's a typical circle change that he throws, but he's got such good arm action on that ball. He's got great movement, and he really sells the hitter into thinking that it's a fastball.
Mentioned earlier, he played collegiately at Missouri State, where he was also a shortstop the days that he was not pitching.
Yeah, he was actually primarily a shortstop, and when he did pitch, he pitched actually in relief.
2 years ago, out with Tommy John surgery. Bounced back last year. Won a career high 13 games. Or the number of games that these teams will play against one another. I figure to be able to see a lot of this guy this season.
Well, a great pitcher's pitch right there. You throw it just inside enough to get the attention of the hitter, but not enough to hit the guy. So Gomes will spin away from that one, and Markham most likely will use the outer part of the plate in the next pitch.
He's run the count full now to Johnny Gomes, looking for his 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning, trying to make it 9 in a row. That is the 3rd time in this game that Gomes has drawn the free pass. That's 5 walks by Sean Markham in this game. Milwaukee's going to make a pitching change as Ron Renicky comes out of the dugout. Join the entire Reds team tomorrow night for an evening of fun and entertainment with Reds Uncut, live at the Aronoff, delivered by DHL. Enjoy interviews, game show elements, and more with your favorite players in this theater-style show. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit reds.com/uncut. Brewers will make a change. Our skyline call to the bullpen. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Another terrific idea. And Jim Couch, Chris Welsh, in one inning, they will be playing you through the Kiss Cam, and they have made a request that you two pucker up and play along with the crowd. What do you think?
You know, I think you're making that up. I think you simply want to see that, and I don't know that it's going to happen.
I don't believe it's going to happen, Jim, either. Now, I'm willing to kiss a big old basket of chicken wings if you want to send them on up this way, though.
Well, listen, beware of the scoreboard, because they are going to have the shot on the Champion Windows broadcast booth.
Well, we're welcoming you to the Champion Windows broadcast booth anytime. And we welcome Champion Windows, our new covey of sponsors that we bring along this year. Congratulations and thanks very much.
A little peek inside what's going on behind the scenes. New man on the mound, by the way, for Milwaukee. Zach Braddock did not have, in terms of numbers, a good spring. 10 games all out of the pen and a 7+ ERA. He appeared 46 times with Milwaukee a year ago, had an excellent year. Bruce in this game 0 for 1 with a walk, and for Zach Braddock a 2.94 ERA in 2010.
Had a good 2010. Big, strong guy.
Only 23 years old. Gets it right in there to Jay Bruce. Strike 3. So Braddock does the job. Inning comes to an end. Through 5, 4-1 Reds. To Martinsville, where Denny Hamlin will try to defend his title and take home his fourth straight checkered flag on that track. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing begins on Sunday with a pre-race show at 12:30 Eastern in high definition on Fox.
Travis Wood, he has been dominant tonight, coming right after the hitters. He's not walked a batter. In fact, of the 18 batters he has faced, he has thrown first pitch strikes to 14 of them. And any pitching coach will tell you that's a formula for success. In fact, 60 pitches so far, and he is out of those 60, he has only thrown 11 out of the strike zone. Amazing.
Rick Maddox used to say, if I could average 13 pitches an inning, I'm feeling great. Travis Wood is under that. 60 through 5. Hard to center, but playable. Stubbs, 2 steps from the wall, hauls that in. That's how he keeps that pitch kind of low right there.
Well, this is a very aggressive hitting ball club. I mean, they'll come up there swinging, especially a guy like Ricky Weeks. Carlos Gomez swings in a lot of pitches. The guys in the middle, Braun, Fielder, and McGee, they may work the count a little bit more. But overall, this is a first pitch fastball hitting team. The Brewers come to town, and they've got plenty of power if you lay it right in there.
Now, we talked so much about the Reds and what they did a year ago in terms of offense. First in average, second in on-base percentage, first in home runs, first in runs, first in hits in the National League. This Brewers club, in almost all those departments, was very close to them. The big difference between these two clubs came defensively, where the Reds were, along with San Diego, tied for the top spot in the National League defensively and committed only 72 errors. This Milwaukee club a year ago, 101 errors.
And that really feeds right into pitching, too. That's the other area in which they really distinguish themselves as much better, the Reds pitching staff, but you've got a good defense behind you. And the errors tell one part of the story. The other part about the Reds defense is that these guys are very athletic. They get the balls that other players on other teams don't get to. So even if you can't always judge, you know, how good your team feels by the number of errors they make or don't make, but by the number of plays they make. And you almost have to watch them on an everyday basis to get that feel.
Speaking of defense, this was before the game, where from the left it was Bronson Arroyo. There's Brandon Phillips getting his second Gold Glove. Arroyo's first, and number 8 for Scott Roland.
Look at those good hands. How about that? He gets an opportunity to show off some good hands. His wall hanging, getting blown over, and there he is.
Walt Jocketty was there presenting, and look at Roland here.
Just comes natural.
Gomez strikes out. 2 men out in the inning.
You know what the joke is about Gold Glove winners is you won it last year, don't wear it this year.
I got you.
I knew I'd eventually get a reaction out of you.
Here Braun with 2 outs. 6 strikeouts now for Travis Wood. Phillips was pleased to get that second one. Now he has bookends.
Interesting story on Ryan Braun. You know, we've seen improved speed out of him. He came into camp stronger, faster, more shape than ever. Here's a kid that grew up in California that went to the University of Miami of Florida baseball program. And they have produced a really long list of sluggers, even more so recently than ever before. Braun's, of course, the one with the Milwaukee Brewers, Pat Burrell, Aubrey Huff, both with the Giants now. Gabby Sanchez having a great year last year. So the Reds hopped on board. They picked their last 2 first-round picks. Guess where from? University of Miami.
They like to call it the U.
You know what you see too is when you get hitters like these guys coming out of a big time program, not just Miami, but in Arizona State and Florida State and Florida and Southern Cal and so on, they play such a high level of baseball that these kids are oftentimes more advanced than a lot of other kids who go to other colleges, especially ones up north that may not get as much year-round playing time.
Braun very tardy on that last one, and that's the 7th strikeout for Travis Wood. There it is at third base as Drew Stubbs, who had stolen second, tries to get third, but Will Nieves guns him down. That's the Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. 4-1 Reds in the middle of the sixth inning. Zach Braddock went 1/3 of an inning. He's out of the game, and here's the recently acquired right-hander Sergio Mitre taking over for Milwaukee. He was involved in the deal late in the spring with the Yankees, which sent from this Milwaukee ball club the former Reds outfielder Chris Dickerson to the Big Apple.
Well, Dickerson not on that 25-man roster the Yankees have right now, actually playing for former Reds manager Dave Miley down in Wilkes-Barre.
So Sergio Mitre, a former starter with the Cubs, is into the game. Total of 13 wins in his major league career to go with 29 losses. Renteria, who's 0 for 2, leads things off. Sean Markham, the starter, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, equal a career high in walking 5, struck out 6. Braddock 1/3. Now Sergio Mitre.
A little side note on Mitre, you know, I was always trying to wonder about this, and I read it recently that in the 2000 film The Breakup, I don't know if you remember that film or not, Vince Vaughn and
Yes,
Jennifer Aniston. Well, in that movie, there was a scene where there was a Cubs game on and a pitch being thrown, and Len Casper, the current TV broadcaster for the Cubs, was calling the game. Always wondered who the pitcher was and couldn't figure it out. Well, here he is. It was Sergio Mitre. So there you go.
so his claim to fame was the movie The Breakup.
Yep.
There were some good scenes now in that movie.
Overall, somewhat of an unforgettable movie. What was less, well, maybe more forgettable for Mitre was the fact that he was suspended 50 games in 2009 for the Major League Baseball substance abuse when he bought a substance at a GNC store in Florida, and evidently it had some items in the solution that are not listed in the OK list by MLB. He was tested and got caught.
That was back in 2009. He gets that ball, and a good stretch by Fielder. Leadoff man gone here in the bottom of the sixth. Here's what we have going tonight. The Reds lead it by a score of 4-1. Drew Stubbs a hit in this game, including an RBI triple in the second inning. Eric Almonte, his first National League home run, but the big blow in the first. 2-run homer by Scott Roland got the Reds on the scoreboard, and they have a 3-run, 4-1 advantage here in the middle of the sixth inning. Hey, Reds fans, right here, right now, this weekend, book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. Hannigan a hit and a fly out. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Hannigan, one of the many Reds, Chris, who signed multi-year deals, either in the offseason or in his case during spring. 3 years, $4 million.
Yeah, you know, really rewarding. I mean, here's a guy that was never drafted by the Reds. They signed him out of a tryout camp. Here he is in a multi-year contract in the big leagues.
And he's down 2 quick strikes.
You really wonder what that means for the rest of the Reds catchers, like Ramon Hernandez. Of course, we've already talked about tonight Yasmani Grandal, but Devin Mesoraco is probably the catcher in the minor leagues that is closest to major league action.
He was very impressive this spring, Devin Mesoraco. Hannigan bounces out 4-3. So Milwaukee pitching really after the second inning really has gotten much better.
Yeah, the second inning's when the Reds scored their last couple of runs. And it has been very quiet ever since.
Haven't had a hit since the second. In fact, have only had 2 base runners since the second, both via the walk, both via to Johnny Gomes. Travis Wood, who's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt, stays in there. Bullpen for the Reds has been quiet tonight. Travis Wood said in part of our pregame package, boy, I'd love to give the team 6 tonight. Who knows, maybe 7. Well, he's turned in 6 innings of 1-run, 3-hit baseball. He'll go back to the mound in the 7th inning and face the heart of the Milwaukee order with at least a 4-1 lead. Weeks on another backhand opportunity. This one he makes, throws Wood out, and a 1-2-3 inning for Sergio Mitre here in the 6th. By AT&T, by Cincinnati Children's, in the top 10 for all selected pediatric specialties in U.S. News and World Report's 2010 Best Children's Hospitals, and by your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. Reds lead 4-1. We head to the 7th inning, and there's a look at some of the special outfits being worn tonight. Tuxedos up here in the booth. Tuxedos in the pregame show, and tuxedos down in the field, all supplied by Fulci's Formal Wear, with 3 locations in this area: Kenwood, Westchester, and Anderson. And we thank Fulci's Formal Wear for supplying the tuxedos being worn tonight. Talked about how pitch efficient Travis Wood has been, Chris, through 6.
Well, when you throw strikes, you're going to get the other team swinging the bat early and often, and that's what's happened with Travis Wood. He's got 2 innings right there where he's had fewer than 10 pitches. Only 1 gone over 16, and that was in the 4th inning. So he has been outstanding. 71 overall, saving the bullpen. Everybody likes that.
Heart of the order here, Prince Fielder batting first in inning number 7.
Now, no one obviously has been up in the Reds bullpen, but this is about the time of the game, given the fact that this is Travis Wood's first start, that you begin to get loose down there. You start stretching a little bit. Those late inning guys, the call could come at any moment.
Fielder very late on that one, now finds himself in the hole, 2 strikes.
We saw the other day when the right-hander Edinson Volquez was facing Prince Fielder. The Reds really shifted him way around to the right side. You don't see anywhere near that kind of defensive shift when he faces a left-hander.
He reached out here and strokes that ball solidly in the center on an 0-2 pitch. Fielder gets his second hit. He's 2 for 3.
Well, here's the defense. They're playing it pretty much straight up for Prince Fielder. You see where Hannigan was way off the plate. That pitch was way off the plate. But I talked about it earlier. What great plate coverage that Prince Fielder has.
And that will signal from Brian Price, the pitching coach of the Reds, action out in the bullpen.
Guy just a great hitter. And playing on his last year of contract.
Here's Casey McGee, who's nothing out of 2. McGee, a pair of RBIs on opening day, one with a sac fly, the other with an RBI single. Tonight he's grounded out and struck out. Good location there by Wood. That almost an unhittable pitch.
Yeah, you know what? If you're looking for something other than that exact spot, there's no way you're going to hit it. Watch where the ball ends up, right on the corner down the lower quadrant. That's not what McGee's looking for, at least not until 2 strikes. Then what do? You move the ball completely to the other side of the strike zone instead of low and away. Now you come inside off the plate. Try to change the hitter's eye a little bit.
Righties and lefty up in the bullpen. Righty Massett, lefty Chapman. Throwing out beyond the left center field wall. Wood got ahead 0-2 to Fielder, lost him. Gets ahead of McGee 0-2. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I really think that Casey McGee is the key guy in this lineup this year for the Milwaukee Brewers. You know what Braun can do. You know what Prince Fielder can do. They need one more thumper. And I think that McGee's the guy that can carry the bat, do it 2 years in a row. Led the team in RBI last year.
And he had career highs in homers and runs batted in a year ago, and now he's run the count full.
Yeah, that's pretty good at bat. Down quickly 0-2. Did not chase any of the little teaser pitches.
First 3-ball count of the night for Travis Wood. Well, we talked about it earlier. Look at all the pine tar that Casey McGee has on that bat. Not too high, a la George Brett, but boy, he really has it loaded up. Bruce chasing, and he got it. Wow, Jay Bruce right up against the pad in the right field corner, made the catch of that ball.
What a great catch by Bruce. We couldn't see it from where we are. We'll take a look right now. That is a dandy of a catch. You know, it's not all that often that you see right fielders go against the wall out of play in foul territory and make a catch like that. He is one of the most athletic right fielders out there. He'll get a little invoice for that repair job needed.
I tell you what, when we traveled the Reds caravan this winter, we introduced Jay Bruce and we said he didn't win it, but he probably should have won a Gold Glove in 2010.
Well, he will before it's all said and done.
That takes the bat out of a big, big part of the Milwaukee order. And McGee, now Eric Almonte, and if they could get a ball hit on the ground, he could get out of this frame with a double play.
You know, we were talking about how good the Reds were defensively last year based on the number of errors they made. Second fewest in the league. Well, what it doesn't give you when you just look at errors is those kind of plays right there. How many pitches did that save Travis Wood?
Roland, Phillips, Votto. Double play ends the inning. Wow, 2. And they hang on to a 3-run lead. Only fitting that we come back in the bottom of the 7th with our Morel hot dog play of the game. That's simply no fear by Jay Bruce right there.
You know, some people will tell you that the corner outfield spots, right field, left field, much more difficult to play than center field. Center fielder never has to run out into foul territory and crash into a wall. Everything he crashes into is in center or right center, left center field. Great job by Jay Bruce right there. Man, can he play some D.
So the Reds bat for the 7th time. Leading by 3 at 4-1. Have not scored since the 2nd. Have not had a hit since the 2nd. Travis Wood and the defense behind him. And superb this evening. Stubbs 1 out of 2 with a walk. And that ball in the hole should be a base hit. There's no way, even if Betancourt fields that ball, that he's going to throw out the speedy Drew Stubbs.
Well, Betancourt is playing so deep. Look where he's playing, right on the edge of the grass. You've got to shorten up a little bit if you expect to get Drew Stubbs on even a slowly hit ground ball. That time it goes to his backhand. Betancourt never really known for his defense, and that ball kept in the infield, but an infield hit. So now we'll see if Dusty Baker begins to push the envelope a little bit. Try to get the running game back in gear with your fastest red aboard.
Stubbs a pair of multi-hit games at the get-go of 2011. Stole a base and then was thrown out trying to steal third back in the 1st inning.
Hey, Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions, better results. JTM.
Phillips 0 for 3. Phillips has had a ton of success against Sergio Mitre in his career. 4 out of 6. Trying to solve the Milwaukee right-hander here in the bottom of the 7th. Betancourt, Wheats, and Fielder turn a 6-4-3 double play. First of the night turned by Milwaukee, so the Reds get the first of this game in the top of this inning. Milwaukee counters with 1 here in the bottom half. Here's Joey. On base twice tonight, a hit and an error. On base 3 times on opening night, opening day, 2 walks, and of course the home run. Flied out his last time. Earlier the Reds had action in their bullpen with the right-hander Nick Massett, the left-hander Aroldis Chapman throwing. Travis Wood has turned in 7 strong innings on opening night 2011, second game of this series. Series that wraps up here tomorrow with the 1:10 game against this Milwaukee ball club. Bronson Arroyo against Randy Wolf. Votto facing Mitre for the first time in his career. Carrying for Braun, who has it to retire the side. We are through 7 here at Great American Ballpark. 4-1 Reds. about Ricky Weeks? Bounced one over there earlier, but made a much better play on this one. Home Depot doing more with defense. Play of this game. 4-1 Reds here in the 8th inning. New pitcher on for the Reds. The right-handed setup man, Nick Massett, takes over.
Nick Massett comes in for Travis Wood, and boy, did Travis Wood give Dusty Baker what he needed tonight. 7 innings of 4-hit, 1-run baseball. Did not walk a batter, struck out 7. Dominant all night long, and dominant was really what Nick Massett was most of the time last year. Got off to kind of a rough start, but boy, he finished up very, very strong. And a lot of people who've watched Nick Massett over the last couple of years consider this guy a closer in waiting.
Well, he will get the bottom 3, Betancourt, Nieves, and then a pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. Massett this spring, 9 games and a 2.89 ERA. Comes on for the first time this season. See in the background, Penn Station East Coast Subs. They supply dinner to the TV booth tonight. We want to thank those folks. Our good friends at Penn Station.
Well, those were good.
Nick Massett's 3rd full year with the Reds, 4th season overall. He has thrown in 156 games over the course of the last 2 years. Remember, Chris, he got off to a tough start early last year, and it was a battle for him all year to get that ERA down under 4.
Well, you know, earned run average is probably the worst barometer you can use when you begin to evaluate relievers, guys that don't get a lot of innings in. I never thought an earned run average really meant anything until you got about 100 innings under your belt, because all it takes is 1 or 2 bad innings for a short reliever like Massett to just blow it up for the year. I like to look at how many guys you stranded on base, how many holds you have if you're a middle reliever. Of course, saves are an important item, and how many save opportunities when you've got a closer working.
In the air, and Phillips calling. That is out number 1 here in the 8th inning. Well, after every Reds game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game and talks to the players and coaches on Reds Live, brought to you by King's Honda and the King's Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. Jim and Jeff post game. Let's hope they're talking about another Reds victory. Now, Niger Morgan, recently acquired from the Washington Nationals right before camp broke, will bat for Nieves. First pitch swinging and a base hit for Morgan, who also appeared but did not bat in the game on opening day. Second consecutive pinch hitter for the Brewers. Sergio Mitre goes 2 innings, faced the minimum allowed a hit. Mitre will be done after 2, and here's the venerable Craig Counsell. Milwaukee native, just does a great job with this Brewers ball club. Whether he's asked to start, whether he comes off the bench as he's doing now. Been playing in the big league since 1995, as he is said to have gone around on that ball by the third base umpire, Brian Gorman. Remember that duo in 1997 when they were with the Florida Marlins. Renteria scored, rather Renteria had the hit that scored Counsell, win the World Series for the Fish. Craig was a little bit excited there as he jumped up celebrating. He started that year with Colorado, but ended up playing in 51 games for the Florida Marlins that year, hitting .299. Since then, he's played with the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Brewers, the Diamondbacks again. And this is his 5th straight year playing with Milwaukee. Foul tip caught by Hannigan. Counsel down 2 strikes. Counsel laid off. Close pitch there from Nick Massett.
Boy, you see the control of Nick Massett. That's exactly where Ryan Hannigan wanted it. Up and in, just off the plate. If Counsel's going to try to put the bat on that ball, then he's going to be able to do not much with it.
Talking about Massett and his bad start last year, an ERA of over 11 the first month of the year. As he swings here, does Counsel, and strikes out. Nasty pitch there from the right-hander.
Well, a great sequence. Last 2 pitches. Hard four-seam fastball, about 94 miles an hour, right up here. So you get him off the plate a little bit. Now you're going to the exact opposite part of the strike zone. You're going to go way down here with it. And if you're going to commit, and you have to because you just saw his best fastball, you're going to come up empty.
Well, he gets the pinch hitter Counsel. Now he'll deal with Ricky Weeks with a runner aboard and 2 men out. Talk about Massett with that high ERA in April. You talk about a turnaround in July and August, both months an ERA of under 1. Pretty solid stuff.
Well, the whole idea of a good bullpen is to shorten the game. Get your starter to give you 6 or 7 innings, and if you have the lead, then turn it over to the hard throwers and take it on in. The Reds have some hard throwers. Massett, when he's on, he can get that ball up there anywhere 96, 97, 98 miles an hour. Francisco Cordero in the mid to high 90s sometimes, and of course our oldest Chapman off the charts.
Chapman throwing now in the bullpen. Reds used 3 of their relief pitchers opening day. They've used 1 tonight. They also used LeCure on opening day, but he figures, of course, as we talked about early in tonight's telecast, to be a starter for the Reds out of the number 5 spot. Well, he did a terrific job though Thursday.
He did. He's a gamer. A lot of people didn't think would have a chance of making this ball club, and he just pitched himself, you know, up the depth chart a little bit by the way that he handled himself this spring and how well he pitched.
All people like us in the media have talked about over the course of the offseason, Chris, was the depth that this team has at all its positions, including pitching and in specifics starting. And as Dusty Baker and Walt Jocketty said, now we get a chance to test that depth. Is it really as good as we think?
Well, sooner or later you're going to test it. I mean, there's never a team out there that's going to have 5 starters from the beginning and use all the same 5 starters all year long. It just doesn't happen anymore. You know, you really need, I mean, if your pitching staff, you break camp, you got 12 pitchers. You really need to have 16 to 17 major league ready pitchers between the beginning and the end of the year. Some you're going to slot into an injury to pick up for a starter. A couple of other guys you're going to need as a reliever. Somebody goes bad, you bring someone up. Someone gets hurt, you bring somebody else up. The hardest thing to do for a general manager is right around the trade deadline be forced to make a move that you really don't want to make, but you have injury to your club and your team's in contention, so you have to fill a spot, and you may give up a valuable minor league prospect in the process. Well, Jocketty, fortunately, probably not in that position this year. He's got prospects just about everywhere.
Weeks chased one up and in. He strikes out. Good inning for Nick Massett here in inning number 8. The Reds take a 4-1 lead into the bottom half. Fun tomorrow for Meyer Family Days. When one family member purchases a full price ticket, the entire family gets non-premium tickets at half price. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or go to reds.com/family. Offer valid in advance of game day only. New pitcher on for Milwaukee as the Reds take a 4-1 lead here into the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the right-hander, newcomer to the Brewers, Sean Green.
Big, tall right-hander from down in Louisville. Not a hard thrower despite the fact he's 6'6", but he really gives right-handers a tough time because he drops down around Laredo with it.
New catcher from Milwaukee is George Kataris, replacing Will Nieves. And Scott Roland leads off here in the bottom of the 8th. Roland in the game had the 2-run homer early. He's 1 for 3. Bettencourt will throw across and get Roland for the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. Join Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association in helping Japan's children in need. Visit unicef.org or text Japan to 864-233 to donate $10. Standard text messaging and transactional fees do apply. For more information, visit MLB.com/Japan Relief. Has not had an official AB tonight. He's walked 3 times. And another chance for Bettencourt. He gets Johnny Gomes. Ahead to the Brewers' 9th inning. They'll have 2, 3, and 4. Gomez, Braun, and Fielder. And of course, it would figure against Francisco Cordero would be coming on to save his first game of the year. Jay tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. Sean Green last year, 11 games in the Mets, including a lot of other time in the New York minor league system. Cheating up the middle, the shortstop on the second base side of the bag is Betancourt. He makes the play. Reds go down in order for the third time, setting the stage for the ninth. Going in, the Reds by 3. How about this blast by Scott Roland way back in the first? Only home run of the night for the Reds, their 4th of the season. Got this game jump-started in Cincinnati's favor. Take a 4-1 lead now into the 9th with Cordero on to try to get the save for Travis Wood.
Well, he's got 290 career saves so far. Francisco Cordero does. Last year, 40 saves and 48 opportunities. He said that was a bad year for him. He blew 8 saves, was not happy with it. Of course, this is his last year of a contract here in Cincinnati, and you know, wonderful and strange things happened in your last year of a contract, and let's hope this is a banner year for number 48.
Chris Heisey is out in left field for the Reds, replacing Johnny Gomes, the only change by Cincinnati. And for Milwaukee, Carlos Gomez will lead it off. You were talking earlier about one of those walk-off wins by the Reds. It was your favorite, Chris, was the defensive play. Heisey to Cabrera to Hernandez.
Yeah, that was one of the first times I've ever seen that particular play to end the ball game. The fist pump at the very end by Ramon Hernandez that after he applied the tag against the Cardinals on that very special night.
And so let's see if Cordero can come through. First save opportunity of 2011. Not off to a good start as Gomez lines a first pitch single into center.
Well, sometimes the closer has to work through the bottom of the order, sometimes the middle, but he has got the thick of this Brewer order coming up right now. Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, Casey McGee. You earn your money on a night like this.
The leadoff man aboard. Braun, who has a hit tonight, is 1 out of 3. Francisco gets a strike in there. He had a terrific spring in 8 games, a 1.13 ERA with 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. He credits a lot of that, Chris, to the fact that he did lose some weight in the offseason.
Well, if you watch Francisco Cordero and the way he works hitters, he does it the same way a lot of closers do. And their theory is this: I'm going to pitch him away, away, away with my fastball and my breaking ball. If he's going to hit a home run off me, he's going to have to earn it by hitting it the opposite field. I'm not going to hang a breaking ball on the inner part of the play. I'm not going to try to come inside, miss, and miss out over the center. And you can see that's what they're trying to do here with Ryan Braun. Keep it away from him.
That one dips low and outside.
I'll tell you, a little murmur in the crowd. It still amazes me that he's become such a lightning rod for Reds fans who are a little bit dissatisfied. If you look over the last 3 years in Major League Baseball, Francisco Cordero has the 3rd most saves of anybody in baseball, more than Mariano Rivera. But yet you think, by the way some of the fans react when he goes to a 2-0 count, that the guy's blown more than he saved.
I can't disagree with you. They really ride him hard. Diving stop. They'll get one. Will they get a second? No, they will not. Boy, oh boy. Renteria diving to his left. Got to that ball. Phillips did a good job on the relay. Braun legged it out.
Man, oh man, Ryan Braun can't believe that Renteria got to this ball, had base hit written all over it. Not only does he get it, he gets it out of his glove and backhands it to Brandon Phillips just in time. In fact, the ball bounces out of his glove and stays right with it. Good turn by Phillips, but Braun just too speedy. That's a game saver.
Yeah, look at the turn here by Brandon. He really got it and got rid of it in a hurry. Almost turned the second double play of the night.
That is some serious defense.
And it allows Cordero to work the fielder, not representing the tying run in this 4-1 game.
And that's huge.
Fielder tonight, 2 out of 3, a pair of singles. 1 hit opening day. 3 hits on the season. 2 for 9 lifetime against Cordero. Mentioned it earlier, but it bears repeating. The Reds trying to start the season 2-0 for the first time since 2005. And only the 3rd time in the last 20 years. Phillips will range to his left and easily throw out fielder. That's not an easy play at all, ranging far to his left and on the outfield grass to make that play.
You know, for a right-handed thrower like Phillips, you almost have to throw the ball behind you. Look how far he comes to get that ball, first of all. But you got to get it out in that situation. That's what it's all about. You've got a 3-run lead. Don't worry about the lead man. You count the outs down, and now they're on their feet here at the ballpark by the river.
Phillips, a couple of gold gloves, including last year. Renteria, 2 gold gloves in his career. Made a gold glove play on the ball hit by Braun. And now a ball hit up the middle by McGee. And a run will score for Milwaukee. And so they will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning. McGee gets his first hit of this game, 3rd RBI of the season.
Here's the pitch, and the first pitch that McGee sees, he's coming right after Francisco Cordero, being very aggressive. Know that Cordero is going to throw him a first pitch strike, knowing that he does not have to worry about giving up the lead with a home run. McGee being aggressive.
Here's Eric Almonte. Launched one in the 5th inning. The only Milwaukee run of this game until here in the 9th. 4-2 Reds. Eric 1 out of 3. Hit into the inning-ending double play in the 7th his last time. Faces Cordero for the first time as Francisco gets ahead with a strike. Bettencourt waits on deck. A run home, 4-2 Reds in the 9th. Now the Redlegs find themselves a strike away from starting at 2-0. Cordero was ready to roll, but Almonte makes him wait just a little bit longer. Dusty didn't appreciate that either. $42,000 umpires thought it was a strike. The one, Larry Vanover, did not. Awfully close. Got him, and the Reds start 2-0 for only the 3rd time in the last 20 years as they get the victory here tonight by the final of 4-2.
Well, a game that was punctuated by great pitching right from the very beginning. Travis Wood took control, and to finish it off, there's Francisco Cordero. A little slider on the outside corner. Takes care of Eric Almonte. And the Reds go to 2-0 just the way Dusty Baker had it planned out.
And they'll go for the sweep of this series here tomorrow afternoon. We'll come back with more from Great American Ballpark right after this.